Hi, JT Morgan here in beautiful New York City, Bryant Park. You know, a lot of people have asked me, what's with the name Badass Sober Companion? Why do you call it that? I was doing an interview recently with the Huffington Post Live, and the fellow asked me, he said, so I guess that's why you call it Badass. And I guess the inference from him was that I'm mean and tough with people. And really nothing could be farther from the truth. I'm quite compassionate to all the addicts and their family members that have to hoe this hard garden called addiction. I can be tough when I need to be, and sometimes I am, but it's to get to an ends to the means, as it were. You know, I was playing basketball with a bunch of kids down in Houston the other day, and they were all Indie Packy Chinese. And they were calling one another bitch and nigger. And I did everything I could to keep myself from laughing. The reason I bring this up is to show you how young people change language and make it mean something completely different. These are two words I never would have used when I was young. My mother would have killed me. But they mean something completely different now. They're even spelled differently now. Another example is the word bad. You remember Michael Jackson in the video, Bad. Well, if you showed somebody that video back in the 60s, they would have been completely baffled because the word bad meant bad. It didn't mean good, as Michael referred to it. So, this is how language gets changed. And another example today, that was the 80s, today is badass. If something is badass, it's about as good as it can get. If you see a Harley going down the street and it's badass, it's not badass because it's a Harley. It's badass because it's a Harley and it's semi-chopped and it's cherry red and it's got big pipes on it and it's badass. So, what is my definition of badass? Well, badass is someone that has a sense of themselves. Someone who thinks outside the box, but only when that thinking gets results. Badass will sell out, but not just for money or prestige, but for a higher purpose. So what does that have to do with Sober Companions? Well, lately I've been doing a lot of reading on rehabs and what people do and the reviews that people talk about and what happens in a lot of places. And I'd like to affirm what we will go through when we do this. And with Badass Sober Companion, I will never demean you just to break you and make a point. I will never take your money just to take your money. If I don't feel like you're ready for this or you're doing this for anyone other than yourself just to get them off your back, I'll tell you to go somewhere else, waste their time and waste your money. I will never keep you or anyone else in the dark about your progress. There are people you need to talk to, that's fine. One of the problems with rehab is it's really kind of a voluntary jail. People go through all your correspondence, etc., etc. There will be none of that. Sometimes your phone calls will be monitored. Sometimes we will ask you to put it on speakerphone. I will request a drug test whenever I feel like it. I've very rarely ever had to do that, but if I need to do it or I feel like you're not being honest with me, I will do it. I will never abandon you because a better client has come, say a celebrity or somebody wants to do a rehab show or someone is offering me twice as much money. I will never take that when I'm in the middle of a contract with somebody else. I will never ask you to believe in God as your only way of getting sober. I won't ask you to believe in anything you don't already believe in. I will never insist or demand on anything. As we say in the hood, you are a grown-ass man or woman, and so you need to make these decisions on your own. I will strongly recommend many courses of action to take, and if you want to stay sober, then you will take them. And if you take them, I guarantee you will stay sober. The first course of action is don't do any drugs, don't drink. The second course of action is refer to the first course of action. If you do that, I can guarantee you'll stay sober. we start with first things first, one step at a time. And the first step is in the first 24 hours of not having a drink or a drug. And as we work through the 30 days, we get to our goal of total abstinence. So I just want you to know, there's no dark street, mortuary, mental institution, jail cell, bucket of blood bar, shooting gallery that I haven't already walked through on my way to get sober. So no medical degree or certified diploma can ever replace that subjective experience of walking through hell so as to help another conquer their addictions. And that's why we call it Badass.